Good morning. Welcome to today's webinar brought to you by MACF and Florida Makes. I'm your host, Sherry Reeves, along with Christian Davison. Today is September 1st, 2020. We will start at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Today's topic, Connex, Florida's Supply Chain Solution. I would like to introduce today's speaker, Michael Adler, Director, Supplier Development at Florida Makes, the industry-led 501c3 nonprofit partnership that strengthens and measurably advances Florida's manufacturing economy. An affiliate of NIST Manufacturing Extension Partnership, Florida Makes works across sectors and disciplines to improve the competitiveness, productivity, and technical performance of Florida's manufacturing industry through technology acceleration, talent development, and business growth. At Florida Makes, Mike's area of technical emphasis and strategic engagement include helping Florida's aviation and aerospace, defense, and power generation equipment manufacturing industries strengthen their domestic manufacturing supply chains, as well as improve their resilience to adverse events, identify and capture new opportunities in commercial space, energy services, and other fast-growing markets. Connex Florida is a statewide manufacturing supply chain, workforce, and R&D connection solution offered free of charge to manufacturers, educational institutions, and those performing manufacturing R&D in Florida. This online database serves to streamline critical connections between Florida manufacturers and businesses in need of their products. A few housekeeping notes. As a participant, your audio will be in listen-only mode using your phone or computer, whichever is more convenient. Additionally, you will have the opportunity to ask your question using the question window. This is a live webinar event which will be recorded. A link to the recording will be provided to you within a few days. Now I would like to turn the presentation over to Mike and why signing up for Connex is so important for your business. Mike.
Thank you very much, Sherry, and thank you everyone for joining us today. Again, as Sherry mentioned, I work with Florida Makes, which is a network of manufacturer associations across the state, and we've been supporting Connex Florida as a resource for businesses, especially manufacturing businesses throughout Florida over the last several months. Been the culmination of some work that we've done over a couple of years now. But one thing I do want to highlight is we are going to be talking about some of the benefits of the Connex system, some of the resources that it can bring to bear for you. We're going to be talking about how Connex has helped our state identify and respond to some of the issues related to the current COVID-19 crisis. Also talk about how Connex is connected to some national databases affiliated with the National Association of Manufacturers. And then we will get into some a demonstration and a Q&A about Connex overall. Again, as Sherry had very ably pointed out, Florida Makes is a network of manufacturer associations, including Manufacturer Association of Central Florida. It's one of our core partners. We work in talent adoption, technology adoption, talent development, business growth across a number of different service areas. As you can see, obviously I work primarily in supply chain optimization, but there are a number of other areas where we also support businesses throughout Florida. And again, why and how we're providing Connex Florida as a resource for manufacturers across the state. We've been doing some work over the last couple of years across the network, trying to identify resources and help the resilience of Florida's manufacturing sector in the face of a couple of hurricanes that we've had in the last few years. After Hurricane Irma and Hurricane Michael in the last couple of years, we did about 200, 300 different assessments of manufacturers across the state and found that almost half of the manufacturers we talked to had critical suppliers for which they had no backups identified. There was a significant amount of disruption that was seen, as companies in one part of the state had to shut down, and due to a hurricane or other power outage, and companies in other parts of the state that were not affected were still impacted because they weren't able to find alternate suppliers for those parts, those components that they were using. And also, as we've been seeing over the last several years, there's been a great uptick in growth in the aviation aerospace industry and the defense manufacturing community. And as those industries have grown and expanded their presence here in Florida, we've been working with a number of partners, including Space Florida and others, to help identify new partners, new pathways, new opportunities in those sectors, and we wanted to highlight those. And then as the COVID crisis has occurred here in the last few months, we've also done quite a bit of work on identifying industrial capabilities relevant to medical devices, COVID-19, and other things. So Connex Florida is an online platform. It's statewide. It's free of charge to manufacturers, especially those who are members of manufacturer associations, such as Manufacturer Association of Central Florida. And it's built to be a network. As many of us have realized over the last few months, we aren't able to go out and do trade shows and other things in the same way that we had before. And, those will come back, but it will take a while for that to really come back as they had. And so all these online resources, online platforms, online networking is a great way to provide ability to continue to build your business, find new resources. And so using Connex and resources like it is a great way to address the challenges of the day. Likewise, Connex does engage both industry capabilities, which is what we've primarily been focusing on so far and rolling the platform out over the last 4 or 5 months. There are aspects relevant to workforce development and research and development as well, although we really have been mostly focused so far on the supply capability side, the manufacturing capabilities, and we'll be working to build out those other elements going forward. There are a lot of different visualizations that the Connex platform provides. So as you can see, we have visualizations of a fairly substantive network in aviation aerospace, and this is medical devices over here on the left. We have a lot of different things that folks are searching for across the network. As you can see, personal protective equipment, things like that is important, but there's a lot of other things that folks are looking for as well. And there are resources which we'll show you briefly about how to visualize your own supplier ecosystem, your suppliers, your customers, and get some additional value out of the system with that as well. That's proprietary to your company. In terms of accessing Connex Florida, there are a couple of ways to do that. One is to go access the page through our website at floridamakes.com/supply-chain. There's a link there to the direct site. Once you get there, there's a little intro here. If you're interested in requesting a listing or a user account, you can click here and it'll take you to an account page, which I'll show you in a moment. There are also frequently asked questions or additional resources. And again, this is the link to get to the initial piece. Once you get there and you go to the account request process, it will bring you to a page that looks like this. You fill out your basic information. That will send us a request for you to join Connex, and we'll show you why that will be beneficial in a moment. But we do validate every single request that we get, so it isn't an automatic thing. We do go through and validate your credentials as a manufacturer prior to letting you in. At this point, we're only letting verified Florida manufacturers join as with account credentials to Connex. There's also another way to access the Connex platform, which is we have a COVID-19 survey for manufacturers to highlight critical issues and demands relevant to the current environment. That's available here at floridamakes.com/businesscontinuity. And once you fill out that survey, the first portion of that survey will be filled in, will allow us to fill in the basics of your Connex profile as well. So you get a little bit more information in your basic profile if you have the survey filled out. There's other information in the survey which is confidential to your business as to how things are going. That is not shared anywhere other than with our business advisor team if you request assistance in some way. In terms of impacts that we've been seeing so far with COVID, just to give you a little bit of background, so about 2/3 of companies that we've surveyed so far, and there have been over 200 who have finished the survey, completed the survey, are running at a lower capacity in some manner. And luckily, very, very few have been said they've had to shut down, do what's going on. So that's, silver lining in some way, but yeah, there has been quite a bit of impacts. And many of those impacts, obviously, slowing a lack of business is the largest, but there are a number of folks that are seeing supply chain issues, financial issues with companies who are not, customers who aren't paying as quickly, workforce availability in some cases as well. So there are a few different issues that the manufacturers are seeing across the state. Luckily, manufacturers, overall, we have been able to continue to operate, and that's been a really good thing. Manufacturing has been validated as a essential business through efforts of many of our manufacturers associations and the governor's office, and so that was very, very helpful. We also have been able to identify a number of different resources where we within Florida make our own personal protective equipment, face masks, face shields, sanitizing supplies, even ventilators and respirators, as well as a number of other testing kits, a number of different resources here in Florida that help provide support for COVID-19 response. So it's been great to see that we have real resources for that as well. But I do want to highlight, especially again, as we had talked before, that Connex is for verified Florida manufacturers only. It is free, so account and listing privilege costs are covered by Florida Makes through 2020, but starting in 2021, everyone who is a Manufacturers Association member, including every member of Florida of Manufacturers Association of Central Florida, Connex will remain free as part of your paid membership in Manufacturers Association of Central Florida. So I want to highlight that very, very much, that this is a benefit and will continue to be a benefit of membership in your regional manufacturer association. It also enables you to have access privileges in associated systems, in this case, the National Association of Manufacturers Marketplace. And so all Florida members get access to the Manufacturers Marketplace free for 1 year. So as soon as you sign up, you'll get a free access to the Manufacturers Marketplace for a year. After that, I believe it is $500 per year after that, which is actually, as a Manufacturers Association member, that is a significant discount. If you weren't a Manufacturers Association member, going forward, it would be $2,500 a year. So that's a very, very significant benefit that you get as part of being a part of the member of the Manufacturers Association of Central Florida. I'm going to escape out of here and show you, dive into the platform itself a little bit, show you how that works. First of all, I want to show you how you get to the platform. So here on our Florida Makes website, you can go to Florida Makes, under what we do, supply chain optimization. And here's information about Connex. Click on that, and it will bring you in here to the main for information. There's links to other resources as well. So there's a link to another demonstration here. There's information about the National Association of Manufacturers Marketplace. And there are FAQs and other resources. And you can also click through and address what you need. Once you come to the front page of Connex, once you've logged in, you come to this front page, which will enable you to see we have a number of different resources here within Connex. I want to show you the industry supplier resources here. So you click on this, bring it forward. As you can see, there's a number of companies which pop up across the state. You can scroll through here and identify specific companies that might be of interest to you. Or you can also use the search bar up here on the top, and I'll show you how to do that in a moment. But I do want to highlight, for example, we have a company here, let's see, Aluminum Distributing, which is down in Fort Lauderdale, but you can see that they have quite a number of things in their profile. You pop up and it gives you a little zoom in of where they are. You can come in here and there are a number of resources, as you can see, relevant to what they are able to offer. And this is the core of the Connex platform, is the profiles. As you can see, you have a basic description of the information about the company, identification of what kind of business they're in, basic contact information, including their website, key contact people, ability to upload capability statements if you wish to do so, information on certifications and qualifications, NAICS and SIC codes. As many folks know, those are key in providing resources in supply chain. A lot of primes and other major buyers use North American Industrial Classification codes or SIC codes to help find potential suppliers. In addition, so all this in blue is available on the public side, so anyone who accesses the Connex platform has access to this, but only by providing login credentials are you able to access the next level, which is members-only information. So that's information about industry sectors, specific services and products offered. Again, you can put in capability statements here and upload additional information, and you can have that either here on the members-only side, or you can have it on the public side as you see fit. So you can additional information here. And there's a number of other resources that enable you to highlight your business. So, for example, another local company here, Dot Decimal, has a lot of different resources. They're in Stanford, and have certifications, a number of other resources relevant. So there's a lot of different resources that you can identify there. And then if you wanted to be able to find somebody by a specific resource, you can also type in resources in the search bar. So in this case, I'm looking for CNC machining and ISO certification, and there are a number of folks that come up here. As you can see, there are quite a few folks that we have in here. Among those, again, is Dot Decimal. So you can find them this way as well. And so it highlights this and indexes everything that you have in your profile. So if you have something in your profile, in the description of your profile, it will search that. If you have something in a spec sheet or a capability statement that you've uploaded, it'll reference that as well. There are a number of different ways that you can use the platform to identify new resources. Another thing that I want to highlight here before I dive in much further is we also have the ability to highlight specific certifications. So if you're signed in as a member, you also have the ability to view the specific certifications. So you can upload these, you can upload your certificates, and then others who are in the manufacturing community are looking for those specific resources can be able to see exactly your certificate, when it was issued, when it's good for, et cetera. So there's a lot of different resources there. You can also put information about SBA programs, other resources that you may have. And then finally, I want to show you with this, if we were to look for something where there wasn't a lot of resources, actually 3D printing there are on quite a number, but if you were looking for something more national, or you weren't finding exactly what you're looking for, you can also hit this button to expand the search to the national marketplace. And this will bring the search over to the national marketplace and enable you to search on the national level as well as the Florida level. So as you can see here, it's asking me to sign in. And it brings up the same resources here. So here is a company here in Florida, as you can see, but there are others across the country here. In Utah, Colorado, Minnesota, Indiana, Tennessee, Ohio, New Jersey. So there are a broad range of resources that are available. And again, this is the national marketplace that you have the ability to access once you have signed up for and been granted accessing Connex. In addition, we have a number of other resources. So I'm going to show you now a little bit about the supply chain side of the platform. So we have here, this is a demonstration company that we have set up so you can see sort of the elements of the profile. You have public information. Again, as you can see here, if you wanted to add information about a resource, you can simply click a link, or if there was an additional PDF that you wish to upload, you can add additional ones. If there's one that isn't on the list, you simply have to fill it in here, and you can put in information about that. It'll reference that. If you're a member of one of the SBA programs, you simply click that, and then if someone's looking for one of these SBA sub-certifications, it will flag that and bring you forward in searches relevant to those. Other things to highlight, again, you have the ability to upload capability statements, and you can upload multiple capability statements. So you can have multiple capability statements for different types of resources, different types of industries that you may be targeting. And those can be shown either in the public profile if you want them to be available publicly, or if you want them only available to other manufacturers, you can put them in the member-only section. In addition, there's an additional set of information about suppliers and customers. And this is confidential information. This is only available to you, your own company. So only you and folks who you allow within your company to see this can see this information. But you can put in for information about suppliers, about customers, and this will give you some information. You can fill in information about what are the specific types of resources and services that they can provide. You can give them the opportunity to rate kind of the relationship and the size of that relationship with that organization. That gives you a little very basic risk profile of your relationship with that organization. And the other thing that this allows you to do is to visualize your supply chain. So this is the same supply chain, essentially in a matrix format, network matrix format. And as you can see, we have a number of different flags that are here. So we have identified this particular company, and you click on the link and it tells you that there's a single supplier risk detected. That's why there's a little flag here around that. As you can see, there are flags if there's specific information that's there. Also, for any supplier that you put into this database, whether they are in Florida or not, it can be anywhere in the world, actually. The system will run their name against known do not contract lists and put out by Department of Commerce, Department of Treasury in terms of some of the money laundering lists, as well as some of the DoD do not contract lists. So it's a quick way to do a quick background check on a company to see if there are any potential issues with that company. Most cases and most folks there are not, but every once in a while that you do come across somebody, and that's a great way to be able to do that. It's another value add that we have in the service. And another thing which is really great about this is, say you do have somebody who, that's the sole supplier for that particular resource, you are able to very quickly click on the link, and this will identify potential alternates for that company in terms of the different resources that it provides. Here, testing is the thing that is the sole source, so it comes up highlighted there. And if you wanted to find more information about that particular company, you can just simply click on there, and if they're our network, it'll take you straight to their profile, and you can find out more about that. So yeah, there's a lot of great resources under the supply chain visualization, and that's a great resource. In addition, we have some resources under the Exchange Center. We have information about different resources. In some cases, companies have underutilized equipment. So if you have some underutilized equipment that you might be able to be looking for someone to help use, you can put information about that there. Or if you might be able to make use of that, of something like that, this is a resource. So it's basically a bulletin board of and for the manufacturing community to be able to highlight different resources, different opportunities. For example, there's another company that's offering engineering manufacturing resources, a great company out of Palm Beach area. So, if you're looking for engineering support for a project, that's another resource. Or if you wanted to put information about resources that you might have that were available, that's a great way to do that. In addition, we have a number of resources in our here in terms of what's new, frequently asked questions, getting started. So we have a number of different resources in terms of how to use the program, the platform. We have the basics of an organization profile. So if you want to learn more about how to set up your organization profile, there's some help resources there. Take you through that process. If you're interested in learning more about how to use the search functionality and really dive into what the search functionality can do for you to narrow down resources and find things that you're looking for, there's a couple of resources there. So there's a lot of different capability there as well to be able to highlight different options and resources. Let's see. Let me go back here. And then there are some other resources as well in terms of, if you're just simply looking for kind of information about companies and where you might be able to find certain things, you can also filter resources this way. So if you're looking for a specific industry sector, say you're looking for something in we'll go with transportation, and you're looking for a specific type of product or service, or you're looking for a specific type of material, specific certification. Say you wanted someone who was ISO certified, or say any number of others. You can highlight those, and it will bring forward some of the resources that are in that particular community. And so then you can sort of tag along here and identify specific resources to bring you forward to that as well. So it's a great resource. Another is if you're looking for student resources, say for example in personal protective equipment, and you're looking for resources to be able to support your own people, your own community. You can, for example, face masks. There's some companies here that are offering face masks. You can go and find out more information specifically about those. Here's one that's in the Daytona area. So you can either contact them directly, as you can see, or you can go to their website, bring up the website, and there's a way to order face masks and PPE directly there. So there's a lot of different resources there. Same with sanitizer. If you're looking for sanitizer for things, there are a number of folks that provide sanitizing solutions, and take advantage of some of those as well. So, yep. Let's see. We'll go back to the presentation, actually, and highlight. Again, as we mentioned, this is free and will be free basically in perpetuity for members of the Manufacturers Association. So for those of you who are members or who have been members of a Manufacturers Association Central Florida, with your membership, you will be able to have access to this basically for the foreseeable future. So very much excited about the opportunity to bring that to you, and happy to provide additional resources. Again, there are some additional resource links here if you have any questions. Happy to answer any questions that we might have. Let's see. If there are questions, you can feel free to put them into the chat box or the Q&A box. In addition, and I'm happy to follow up with anyone after the fact. We are having some other demonstrations. We have another Connex 101 demonstration like this on September 10th, Thursday of next week. We will be having a Connex 201 demonstration to talk about some additional resources in terms of how to use some of the specific functionality, including the Exchange Center, the supply chain visualizations, and the manufacturer's marketplace in more detail. That'll be coming up toward the second half of the month. And then I do want to also highlight, if there are other resources that you're interested in or you're interested in Connex, please don't hesitate to reach out to Dan Sutter, the Florida Makes Business Advisor, at dan.sutter@floridamakes.com, and I'll put up his information as well. There any, we have, as I mentioned before and showed you, additional resources on our website as well.
So, Mike, were there any other questions?
Well, I mean, one question which we often get is how many companies are involved, how many companies are listed within Connex. The short answer is we have about 5,000, 6,000 companies, 5,500 companies that are listed within Connex right now, manufacturers. We have about 325 or so companies who have signed up for credentials so far, and more all the time. So we have a great resource in terms of the number of folks who are engaged in the program, in the platform, and we are continuing to build and expand the resources. Another thing that we are looking to roll out within the platform is actually putting information about requests for information, requests for proposals from various resources into the platform and pushing those out through Connex. So look to that as something that we'll be doing here in the next few weeks, probably by next month, by October, that will be in place. And then we're also looking at some additional functionality to narrow down searches and things in greater ways as well. So lots of exciting things happening.
Well, there's a lot of great opportunity for the MACF members. And, we'd just like to thank you, Mike, for your time today and your many years of experience in the manufacturing and supply chain. We'd also like to thank Dan Sutter, our business advisor. And once again, we'd like to thank Florida Makes for their continued support of Florida's manufacturers. We want to thank you for your participation in today's webinar. I hope you found this beneficial and a great opportunity for your company. If you would like more information about MACF, you can visit our website at www.macf.biz. For future events, please visit our website events page. And as you exit the webinar, we're seeking your feedback on how to improve these webinars and better meet your needs with topics of value to you. So once again, thank you. Please watch for upcoming webinars through MACF and Florida Makes websites. I bid you all a good day, stay well, and keep manufacturing.